All right, so this week's readings are focused around Frontline and Human Service Organisation. We have two readings. We have a textbook professional experience, and then we have the online reading. David's covered that. Shall I tell us about it?
Yep, sure. So the title is Hope and Despair. The Frontline is written by Martin Jones. It uses a reflective model and it's pretty much reflecting on the frontline in human services. So through the changing systems and order, can one individual still construct integrity in their work, core values and ethics working in human services organizations? So there were three strands of reflection, which were engagement, over-compliance, private resistance, and withdrawal. So engagement is the positive strand where human services still try to implement core values and work ethics through the shifting phases in dialogue and demands. This is also where integrity is built in oneself when working in the human services organizations. And over-compliance and private resistance is more of a balanced strand between hope and despair. It's where human services, their work gets questionable as to their work core values are still implied or not. And he uses the words undeclared routes and undisclosed ends. So there is a battle trying not to make bad decisions in the shifting organizational context. So the balance between is that there are no actually major victories at a macro level against the order, and hope is when the job gets done through past experiences and cases despite the impositions of the new order. And also they may be deepening despair when the system surveillance gets harder to get through and more difficult to get the job done. And the final strand is the withdrawal strand, which is when the human services are not actually effectively in the role of humanities, and it's also known as an emotional or a mental burnout. This is where integrity becomes sustaining, and interestingly, he describes it as a self which performs at work as distinct from one's true self, and this is where hope is outside of human services but can be found at home. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got from my readings.
So it's looking a lot at self as well, and particularly down at the human service organisation at the individual self for the practitioner. So our one looks at a lot of different other levels. So we look at the generation of new stresses, the issues and problems for staff in the human service organisations, and we look at the 5 levels of different organisational experiences, which looks at the different the micro, meso, macro levels, just the different ways that we can see in the organisation. So with stress and reconstructing limited resources, we look at the reconstruction of an organisation can create a great deal of stress for the workers and clients. A worker can see the removal or diminution of career ladders, greater insecurities, and increased workloads. An example of a client being affected by reconstruction is child protection call centres that have been replaced from the face-to-face counselling. So while this is more productive, having a call centre, the clients miss out on the more personal human aspect of contact. Intensification of workloads can decrease a sense of autonomy in workers and increase managerial control. And social workers are one of the worst offenders at not setting boundaries between time limits or paid work. So they bring the work home and they don't shut off. So work life, home life, it can easily fuse to one. We then look to client and individual level. If a client's needs are not met, it can reduce quality of life. It's important for a frontline worker to possess the appropriate personal skills to effectively work with the clients in the organisation. Active listening and demonstration of respective views of the client, including understanding of the client's views to help construct an appropriate and sensitive practice. We then look at the group and networking level, which looks more at working in teams creates a whole new area of stress and challenges in the workplace. The mixture of everyday interaction and decision making can make organisations' processes quite complex. The intra-organisation level, so managers can't empower workers, but they can adapt the workplace so the workers have more power and creates more autonomy, and it promotes power sharing within the organisation. Relationships with organisations between different levels of management to frontline workers is important for the organisation to be coherent. Okay, organisation level. So all organisations have their specialties and they bring their strengths together. They can achieve great things. Community development also includes all people in the community to reach the common goal. It becomes very difficult in human service organisations when there are limits due to funding resources or restrictions due to frameworks of funding organisations. Then finally, we have community and society level. Social and political economic factors can influence the environments of organisations. So there's the idea that power is interchangeable, and empowerment has two meanings. There's a consumerist look where it focuses on the user's voice, and there's a liberal where it focuses on the oppression of social justice. So that's pretty much mine. I think that wraps it all up.
Yep.
So thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.